Welcome to BattleTech in the Morning with Captain Nips. I'm Captain Nips, and it's Monday, which means it's time for another week of stompy robots and explosions and 100-ton body checks and the like. So in today's video, I want to kind of poke and prod at something that I've not been paying too close attention to, even this far deep into the existence of the beta. And I have not really leaned on this to this point. But I think it's worth actually trying to figure out how much mileage you can get out of the pilot skill, Bulwark.
Welcome, Commander.
So in today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a lance of hunchbacks, 4Gs and 4Ps, so autocannon 20s and medium laser variants, stack them with a quartet of pilots that all have Bulwark as a skill, and pit them up against a heavier opponent with pilots that do not have Bulwark. So what am I trying to accomplish here? A hunchback has, according to tabletop rules, nearly full armor coverage. It's 160 out of 169 armor points. Bulwark, if it is to be believed what it says on the tin, gains guarded while remaining stationary, 50% of damage reduction against ranged attacks from the front and side. So, if I'm able to leverage Bulwark effectively, that means that my 160 points of armor per tabletop should be doubled essentially because I'm getting half damage and effectively be 320 points of armor. I should see my hunchbacks survive twice as long as I would expect them to. Now, I've pit them up against Orions. One, so that there's an obvious weight imbalance and armor imbalance. The Orions, specifically the Dash K, have 100% armor coverage. Has 230 armor points per tabletop rules, which is a full 70 points more each than on the Hunchback. Also, it has more guns. That's worth noting. But the armament is pretty close. I mean, you get the extra missile launcher and maybe a laser or two. Point being that I'm trying to punch well above my weight in these hunchbacks, trying to take down Orions with 50% extra weight on the AI side. Now, in setting this up, I did notice one thing. Most of the Bulwark pilots are not great shots. Wildfire is the only Bulwark-equipped pilot that has a gunnery of 8. If you want to stack Bulwark across your team, you have to dip into the 5s, and I think Ozone actually is down into the 4s for gunnery. So to keep things balanced in terms of guns hitting each other, as best I can, I've done the same to the enemy lance. Kraken is an 8 gunnery. Paradise and Blockade, I believe, are both 5s. Yep. And Showboat's a 4. Now, there's one more thing that I need to mention here, in that means 3/4 of this team has evasive move, which means sometimes my shots may not be hitting. We'll just see how it goes. I'm going to take this one to the stacks today, because ideally what I'm going to do is I'm going to move from the starting position down to the river and just plant my feet, because I'm going to be leaning heavily on the Bulwark to provide survivability for my mechs. Also, there happens to be a little bit of opportunistic forest terrain there in case I do need to make some maneuvers, so I can at least get 25% damage reduction from the cover there. Let's get this underway.
Deployment. Mech warriors, prepare for combat.
So the thing that really caught my eye, the reason that Bulwark really caught my attention, was from the video on Friday, where 2 Atlases, despite having to take every other turn off due to heat issues, firing on a single hunchback,
Command interface initiated.
couldn't kill it. Was having problems killing even a single hunchback.
I hated my childhood.
And Buckshot has some self-image issues, which we will deal with later. So, if 2 Atlases with full alphas can't open up a Hunchback that's guarded due to Bulwark,
I'm receiving you.
what can? How much mileage can we get out of this? So, ideally, I'm going to set myself up somewhere in this neighborhood so that if I do need to move forward, I can get to these trees, take a turn of 25% damage reduction instead of 50, and then Bulwark again the following turn. Again, it's worth noting, BattleTech is a damage race.
Copy that, Commander.
Always be racing, and wherever you can, always be preventing damage.
Ready to rock. Affirmative, Commander.
Now, the reason that I'm going for the river is obviously for the cooling, but it's also because of... I want the cooling because I want to be able to keep my pace of weapons fire up so that it is comparable to the enemy Orions. I don't know that it's going to be, you know, exact or anything, but like trying to make up the weight difference in terms of just number of guns being shot every turn. If I can keep the Orions out of the river, that would be great, because the Orions also have some heat scale issues. Good old 3025 tech.
Copy that, Commander.
Everything runs hot. A wonderful balancing factor in game design until double heat sinks were reintroduced. Check the lines of sight, check the distances. Alright, let's just keep moving here.
Reporting enemy contact.
Ooh, boy. There we go. So the other thing I'm just noticing now that also does not help the cause here is fighting uphill. There's so many modifiers in this game to your weapon attacks. It's actually impressive how many they've stuck in.
What's up, Commander?
When at all possible, you want to be on a high point looking down, because you get a bonus to hit when you do. So these Orions will be getting bonuses to hit on me if I stand in the river. I'm okay with this for now. Hopefully I can... I don't think they're close enough to get... Are they going to be close enough to get to line of sight yet? Thinking of reserving my whole team.
Yes, Commander.
You know what? I'm going to chance it. I'm going to put my people right on the edge of the water with my move here.
Acknowledged.
Which, unfortunately, means I'm giving up... Well, actually, you just guard. Here we go. I'm going to get everybody into...
What are your orders, Skipper?
into water-protected positions. And by that I mean the edge of the water and guarded. Everybody's going to pick up guarded this turn. Hopefully being here with the hill means I won't be blocking my own line of sight with buckshot. So that would be unfortunate.
Skipper?
Yep. Water. Water is hard to move through, which is good, because I don't think to date any BattleTech or MechWarrior game in history has modeled water correctly. So it is refreshing to see that it was done so here. I was going to say, it's this second guy that moved I was worried about getting into line of sight. The other thing is they're going to get line of sight on me. I think they might actually get line of sight on me before I do on them due to the height difference, which would stink. Alright. reserve and make them move first. Yep, sure enough. Freaking A. Alright, so that guy on the hill has line of sight to me. I don't have line of sight to him, which means I need somebody to move forward.
I'm here.
That stinks. That stinks to just the most stink. Ugh. Ugh. Lines of sight for all of these guys back here. I was really hoping to keep this water position.
What's up, Commander?
This gives... Really? Game. You trying to play a trick on me? No way does this position... Well, maybe. Standing behind this rock, can I still see this guy up there? I'll take a chance on it, because I really want to try and keep all my people in water and keep them down behind cover. Look at that. The game didn't totally lie to me. I want to keep my guard up, though, so I'm going to skip Sumo's fire here. The idea here is to try and mitigate as much of the enemy attack's damage as possible. While we light them up. Alright.
Right here.
Let's light this guy up. 60s and 65s with all these lasers.
Copy.
Got a sneaking suspicion that's about what I'm going to be getting this go around. With all of these pilots with questionable... Not questionable. Average gunnery skill.
Light hit. I'm here.
Alright. Got lines of sight. Wildfire's got the AC-20.
Roger that.
Be nice if drilled this Orion. Yeah, now we're talking. There we go. Right to the CT. It's the sauce we like. Damn. All these autocannon 10 rounds fly in my direction.
Crap. Oh, that hit me.
Alright, ozone. Keep putting on the hurt. 70s and 75s. Nice.
Engaging target.
Oh, wow. Drilling that one torso. That is a great salvo of lasers there. And I get the
Yes, Commander.
I get the turn at the top of the order. Let's pour it on.
I got you.
Keep it up, ozone. I got a good feeling that I might be able to just drop this first Orion. Ugh, that 2-hit number stinks. Why do these 2-hit numbers stink? That guy's got movement modifiers. This guy's got movement modifiers. This guy doesn't have any movement modifiers. Eh. Coin flips. I'll take my coin flips, I guess.
I'll make them.
Because if this... Yeah, it's going to hit the arm. Although, that was a deep cut with the autocannon 20.
Oh, look what you made me do.
Commander?
Speaking of autocannon 20s, refire penalties are a pain. Also, it's at long range, but that's a leg shot. I'm going to take all the armor off of this Orion before it goes down. Get the knockdown. Buckshot might have an opportunity here. Yeah, Tactics 3 is not the best.
Yes, Commander.
Aim for center of mass. We need to kill this guy quick.
Roger that.
We only need one laser to tap it. There we go. Alright. So far so good. We are up
Pacified.
1 kill to nothing. And none of my hunchbacks have had a broken armor panel. Let's see what this guy's got going on. Ozone's taking hits. That's okay. Probably going to focus on this guy on the hill next. Unless this guy takes a short move. Cover. Okay, yep. We're going to plunk this guy up on the hill.
I'm receiving you.
Alright, let's start here. Sumo, from underneath,
Alright, I'll give him the whole idea.
straight into the right leg. That autocannon round.
Waiting for orders.
Let's double up that autocannon deliciousness. That's going to be right torso. We like that. Am I missing something? I feel like this isn't doing the damage it should. No, he's not covered. He's not braced.
Standing by.
Just has a
Here we go.
giant pile of armor to work through. There we go. Now we work that right side off. Get rid of that autocannon with an explosion
Critical hit, Commander.
of the ammunition.
Yep.
Doing a good job. Got 45 left in the center torso of this Orion on the hill as we continue to open cans left and right. This guy's going to hang back and fling some... Oh, I was going to say indirect missiles, but he's still got a direct line. One of Ozone's panels finally opens up.
Armor breach. Internal damage.
Left torso, though, where all the heat sinks are. No big deal. Keep our guns intact. Keep our weapons clean. What is this Orion doing? Trying to get... Oh, it's got left side on Ozone, which is the bad side. But still doesn't
That
quite...
shot got through my armor.
Still doesn't quite cause a kill shot. Okay. Doing alright.
Standing by.
Doing okay. A little worried about this guy, but if we can kill this Orion this turn, ideally
Something I can do.
with an early shot from, let's say, Sumo. Didn't get it with the autocannon, but the lasers got the job done. Drop Orion number 2 as the Hunchback squad easily punching above its weight. So now the question is, what do I need to do to not get, like, walked all over here?
I'm receiving you.
I need to look at movement here. Can you move from this spot to this spot? I think, it's hard to tell, but I believe that the only movement path here is for this Orion to come down through the mud to get down behind my mechs. I do not think it can come down the hill here. I'm not sure of this. The other thing going on here is that my mechs... Does anybody have a line of sight
Right
with
here.
this guy? Nope. Nobody here has a line of sight. So we are going to make a proactive move to cover ourselves as best we can.
I'm there.
And then throw up the guard, get the bulwark, get the guard, get the entrenchment.
Waiting for orders.
This is probably giving up her left side at
Order acknowledged.
best.
Orders.
So let's make this untenable for this guy to come down this way
Order acknowledged.
by moving Ozone into a counter position. And let's see what this Orion does. And I was wrong. I was just flat wrong. As this Orion pounds the left side of Ozone and still doesn't break open that torso.
Internal damage.
I should say break off the torso. The torso's open. Alright,
I'm here.
so here's the thing I want to know.
Standing by.
If you have a Bulwark pilot, and all you do is turn in place, does that break your Bulwark?
Move order received.
Yes. Which is unfortunate, because
Firing.
unless I kill this Orion, like now, in this turn, Ozone is going to get reamed.
Commander?
Ah, wildfire. Facing the wrong way.
Move order received. Affirmative.
That's a leg shot. That's going to be not going to help kill it. Unless we happen to take off the leg.
Yeah? What can I do you for? Heading out.
Wait, so, okay. Hold up a sec. It did not display it during their turns, but Ozone has his guarded, and so does Wildfire. So, yes, turning in place without moving from your position will cause Bulwark to be triggered. Which is great, because that means this Orion is just really, really screwed.
Oh, you want some of this?
Yes, Commander. Affirmative.
Meanwhile, back up the hill, running around in, literally running around in circles. All right.
Yes, Commander.
I want to move Ozone first because this is kind of a weird situation. I want to get this guy back in line of sight. I do not want to give up my back to the guy up the hill. I think if I do this,
I got you.
just enough to turn around, that's going to present his left side uphill, which actually might not be the best idea, but
Locking off with all weapons.
I'm here.
got to turn. Let's continue to do the just turn enough
I'm
tactic
there.
here. Line up a shot. That's center mass. Oh yeah. 3 structure left in the center torso of this Orion. It's dead to a small laser.
What's up, Commander?
So let's save the
Right here.
autocannon rounds for now. And have Buckshot finish this
On
guy
my way.
off.
Locking in target.
Woo! Woo!
Enemy mech destroyed.
That guy got plowed. Something fierce. Alright. Last guy up the hill. What's
Yeah?
Sumo
What
looking
can I
like
do
for
you for?
damage? He's taking a bit of splash damage. Not a lot in any particular place. 5 to 10 points in any given location. Not even 10 points. There's 7 on that right torso armor panel. So I could move up and I could fire. And I could just start to put the end to this match here. Or I could hang back and be delicate about it. I think I want to make them move to me. So if I reserve, it means the other guy's got to move. Now Sumo
Something
will
I
walk
can
out
do?
and plow this guy. Ooh. He's guarded. He's entrenched. He's evasive. I think. Well, I was going to say maybe I hold, but it doesn't going to matter because
I'm gonna make some friends.
I get the first go in the next round anyway, so let's just pour some damage on. Let's get this party cooking.
Commander?
I'm going to throw focus on Sumo,
Okay, now the gloves are off.
both to make his autocannon deliciously accurate and ignore this this pesky cover guarded situation.
Piece of cake.
That should take off the... Oh, didn't take off the left arm. 120 armor on the left arm of an Orion. That is a lot of armor. Can't see him from here. Can see him from here. If I turn in place... her autocannon's too far out. So, we're going on the move. I'm at least going to try and get myself some cover here.
Affirmative.
Get into the trees. 25% damage reduction is what we like to see. 75s, 95s is definitely what we like to see.
All right.
Ooh, that looks like left torso. Yep. Goodbye, arm.
That hit something good.
Goodbye, torso.
Standing by.
Now, buckshot. I don't think... Yep, she's too far away. Or something. She doesn't have line of sight. So, let's just take a short
You
move.
think so?
Point these guns uphill.
Engaging.
Now we're having to chew through the cover, so of course everything's more difficult.
Yep.
Ozone, likewise. I wouldn't be surprised. It would not surprise me even in the slightest. And in fact, it might be worth my time to throw guarded on Ozone for this turn. He's got 35 structure left in the torso, 57 in the leg. I'm going to throw... So here's what I'm thinking. If I attack with Ozone here, he'll have no movement modifiers and no cover and no guarded and none of that, which means the AI is going to have to pick one of 4 targets. If I was the AI, if I'm pretending to be the AI, I see 2 targets near me, one with Bulwark, one with cover, neither of which is significantly damaged. I see a target down in the water that's damaged, but no broken armor panels and no movement modifiers. And I see another damaged mech down in the water that has open armor panels and also is missing movement modifiers, cover, or guarded. I think if I was the AI, I'd fire on this, which might be attributing a little too much brilliance to the AI. I'm going to play this conservative because if this was the campaign game, I would prefer not to have Ozone have half his mech blown up in this last round. So instead,
They're banging through my armor.
the AI gets salty.
I'm receiving you.
So let's return some of that salt.
Affirmative.
Ooh, all of that went through the open left side.
Yeah. Consider it done.
Yep. This should be
Objective.
a dead Orion. Ladies and gentlemen,
Mission successful.
I knew Bulwark was strong, but I didn't think it was this strong. This is kind of obscene. While it does force you to have to pick sort of static locations to fight from, which could be exploited by fast mechs, And maybe later this week I'll give another go at this with a mix of mechs, like say Atlases and something fast like Jenners. This was just a kicking. This was just a complete drubbing on the part of my Hunchbacks, beating up a Lance of Orions, giving up 50% extra tonnage and about as much C-bills. 12 rounds, 24 minutes, and 54 seconds. And what happened to my Lance? Ozone took some internal damage. He didn't even get that deep. 57 out of 60 on the leg. 35 out of 60 on the left torso. So not even reduced below half health on that left torso. The rest of the armor panels held. Everyone else's armor panels held. I think, I think it will take some more investigation on my part. But if this is the kind of efficiency you can expect to get out of Bulwark, with even somewhat a level of regularity, it really feels a lot like Beta Phase 1 Evasion, in that basically preventing 50% of damage just outright. Whew, that's strong. That is way stronger than I was giving it credit for, and I think I'd have to go look around, but I think that might become a dominant tactic right now in Beta Phase 2. Although, certainly there are lots of tactics you can leverage. And the giving up the mobility part is important. It's important to note that keeping a static position is gonna, can lead you to situations where you're getting surrounded, where you're getting hit from behind, where your bulwark, where you're guarded, where your cover does not help. So I will have to poke at that a bit further, I think, this week. But for now, a very, very strong showing for a Bulwark team, and I think a reasonably strong indicator that maybe that'll get tweaked, or maybe it should get tweaked before we get the campaign. But for now, I'm going to take this victory and I'm going to march off into my day, happy that Bulwark exceeds expectations. So for now, that'll be all with today's BattleTech in the morning. I am your tech in the hangar bay, in the mech bay, Captain Nips. Wishing you all a wonderful day, wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and night. And I will see all of you in the next video.